Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jeff LaCure. Welcome to your wake-up call. As you know, I try to bring you a variety of self-help, mental health, physical health, emotional health topics to try to help you manage your day, your relationships, actually help you to feel better. And I have been thinking about this particular topic that I'm going to do today for quite some time. And sort of like Superman, it has been my kryptonite. And what I mean by that is it's a topic that is getting a lot of attention. And quite frankly, I believe is getting way too much attention. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying it doesn't impact people's lives, but way too much attention. And I realize with all the attention that this particular topic is getting, it has become controversial. And the irony is, what I'm about to talk with you about today isn't controversial at all. It's science, it's factual, it's irrefutable. All the research over the last several decades supports what I'm going to tell you. I guess today I come with you with, I hate the word courage, but because I know how controversial this topic is, a lot of you aren't going to be happy. And so there's going to be three groups of viewers today. Those that already knew all the facts of what I'm about to present. Those of you who are going to be like, wow, I didn't know that. And then there's going to be a group of you who's going to be like, I hate this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't care what degrees he has. I don't care what kind of experience he has. I don't care how many books he's written. I don't care how many people he's helped in his clinical practice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There will be people who will try to cancel me. Today is June 1st. I am telling you right now, there will be people out there who will want to cancel me instead of really appreciating what I have to say. Even if you don't agree with it, I hope you'll at least listen to it. So, I want to talk to you a little bit about I don't even know how to describe it, but it's in the media every day, and the phrase is transgender. Let me just start out by saying, that as a mental health professional, my heart and my soul and my professional dedication goes out to people who are struggling emotionally, intellectually, and certainly psychologically. And that already gives you kind of a view of the road that I'm about to head down. First, let me hit you with the facts. There are people historically, and there will be people moving forward, who 100% are born into the wrong body. Here's the however, and again I want to stress it, there are people who were born into the wrong body. That is a scientific fact. However, according to the research, and this is the biggest number I could find, not the smallest, the biggest number I could find, is 1/100th%. So take a percent and then now divide it another 100 times, and that would be the statistical anomaly that somebody was literally born into the wrong body. It is an incredibly, let me be clear, incredibly rare event. However, it does happen. The however is, and this is what I want to present to you this afternoon, is the majority of people who are saying that they were born into the wrong body. Again, and I'm not shaming, I'm not making fun of, I'm not poking fun at. I take their strife seriously. However, it is the emperor's new clothes. And if you're not familiar with that fable, allow me to highlight exactly what the emperor's new clothes is. The emperor's new clothes, and I'll give you the short version, is the emperor who rules the kingdom is sitting in a room naked with many of his subjects and his court. And he imagines, I guess he believes, that he is trying on several cloaks. And he asks for people, what do you think of this beautiful new cloak, this beautiful new robe? Now remember, he's not wearing anything. He is naked. And apparently, according to some who were in the original story, it was very, very cold in the room. I'll let you marinate on that joke for a little bit. But he was wearing nothing. But everybody went along with it as to not offend him. The emperor's new clothes. Which is why, as a mental health professional for over 35 years, I will never refer to anybody as a they or a them. They have every right to refer to themselves however they want to be referred to. But I'm not doing the emperor's new clothes. We don't have 3 genders. There's a group in Britain that says there's 106 different genders. I'm telling you, it's emperor's new clothes. It doesn't exist. We have men and women. We have boys and girls, and then that incredibly, let me be clear, incredibly rare biological moment, somebody is truly born into the wrong body. What you're seeing on TV, what you're seeing on all the YouTube videos, what you're seeing on Fox and CNN and everything in between, and all the talk shows that are interviewing people, and I will have a few clips embedded into my podcast for you to view. They're interviewing these people as if it's the emperor's new clothes. So let me be clear what it is they're battling. They are not transgendered. They were not born into the wrong body. What we know scientifically is that the majority of people who claim that they are transgendered, who claim that they are born into the wrong body, actually have either gender dysphoria, which is, again, exactly what it sounds like, a diagnosable mental health issue, and many of them as a comorbid, which means it's happening at the same time, have body dysmorphic disorder. And let me just explain quickly what body dysmorphic disorder is, because that has a lot more to do with just gender. A lot of people may look in the mirror and actually have a very small nose, but they see themselves as having a very large nose. Somebody who exercises and actually are incredibly lean, but they look in the mirror and they see a 350-pound person. Body dysmorphia is just that. You don't really see exactly the way you look. And you could have a small freckle on your face, but you feel like the entire world sees it. You feel like the freckle is this big when obviously it's the size of a pin. That's a very sort of layman's example of what body dysmorphic disorder is. We also know that the majority of people who claim to have to be transgendered also suffer from incredible anxiety and depression. There's a lot of comorbidity. Let me be clear, the studies demonstrate loud and clear that when people go on hormones, or even, and I'm going to say worse, when they start chopping off body parts, let me just be right there straight honest with you, surgically removed. No, chopping off body parts. You know what they find? Their anxiety and their depression is still there. And what we are finding now is more than half of people who have done these surgeries, who have started these hormone replacement procedures or hormone suppressant procedures, actually report down the road that they really, really regret it. Now, when's the last time you saw somebody being interviewed who actually regretted going through hormone replacement therapy or hormone suppressant therapy or testosterone-inducing therapy? When's the last time you saw that person interviewed? You know why you don't see them interviewed? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative of being a victim. So let me be really crystal clear. This is an opinion. I come here, giving you a lot of opinions, but it's always under the umbrella of facts. Today, not opinions, just facts. That, again, the majority of people who are identifying as transgendered are not transgendered at all. They were not born into the wrong body. They have a lot of things that are going on, and I find it fascinating. If we are talking about 1/100th of a percent, and we are making social policy changes to be able to say to students in a school, you must admit that the emperor is wearing a cloak because you do not want to offend him. We have teachers getting fired because they will not refer to a student as they or them. I'm telling you right now, I will never dehumanize anybody. We do too much of that by referring to them as they or them or some of this other just funky language that is out there. Let me highlight something else that I'm sure you've noticed. Some of you are drinking the Kool-Aid, and some of you are like, hey, this isn't right. We have a lot of men. We have a lot of men who are, let me rephrase it. We have a lot of males, biologically born a male, who are a male. I guess society would say they're a man. You know how I define a man. We've already talked about it. A man is courageous, loving, sensitive, kind, gracious, all that. This ain't a man. But they are a male. And they have, many of these males, have a wonderfully strong sexual fetish. And just to, again, briefly, and I'll be talking about it in later podcasts, a sexual fetish is something you need in order to become sexually aroused. There are sexual fetishes that are incredibly healthy, are incredibly excellent to have as part of your sexual and intimate life experience. And then there's some sexual fetishes, quite frankly, that are out there, wackadoodles, and some of them are even dangerous. I'm not saying that a dude who likes to dress up as a woman is dangerous. Zero danger in it, right? And there's various tiers. Most guys who do it will put on women's undergarments in private, and they actually get a sexual thrill. And they frequently masturbate while wearing those clothes. That's right, it's the wake-up call. I hope you don't have little Johnny and Susie watching right now, but that's what they're doing. And for the majority of guys who have this sexual fetish of wearing women's undergarments, that's where it starts and that's where it stops. Some of them will actually then take it because it's no longer the thrill of it. It's almost like a drug. After a while, you need more, you need more, you need more. You need more beer to get that buzz. You need more pot to get the arousal feeling. You need more cocaine to get that kind of feeling. We'll talk about that later. What they will do frequently then to get the buzz is when they're having an intimate moment with a partner, they frequently then will be like to the partner, do you mind if I wear your bra? Do you mind if I wear your panties? And that gives them a sexual thrill. The ultimate sexual thrill, and very few men will actually do this. Wait, let me restate it. Very few males will actually do this. They will then dress up and go out publicly. And when they are noticed or looked at, that turns out to be this wonderfully powerful sexual thrill and sexual urge for them. And they frequently go home and masturbate to the look on somebody's face. Well, I'm telling you that's happening right now in our locker rooms across America where we have, there was one guy, it was in a health spa where people are getting, massage treatments and all the good stuff. And so here's women getting a massage and they're feeling good. They're trying to decompress. They're probably a working mom, which means they work at home. They parent at home and they work outside the home. They're trying to do the most difficult job ever, which is balance everything. And they're going for a massage. And then they go into the locker room to change. And there's some dude who says, I'm a woman, walking around with his penis just hanging out. That's verified, by the way. I'm not making that up. By the way, speaking of makeup, you know it wasn't a guy who ever invented the word penis. What does that word even mean? It certainly doesn't sound masculine. No guy ever says, hey, what do you think of my penis? So I know I'm getting off track a little bit, but if a guy had invented the word penis, it would have been like Chuck or Frank or Tank or fire engine, or something that has a tone to it, not penis. Back to the point. We should never, ever have a dude, because of his sexual fetish, being permitted to go into a woman's bathroom or locker room where they're changing and he's got his penis hanging out and he supposedly has a right to do it. Here's the deal. I support somebody's right to be crazy. I support somebody's right to have mental health issues. That's why I'm in the field. I support people's right to have mental health issues. So many people have mental health issues. And we could solve this immediately. Maybe we need to have a men's room, a woman's room, and like many private schools are starting to do, they have gender-neutral bathrooms. So you enter at your own risk. If you want to go into the gender-neutral one, if you want to go into the all-shared gender one, feel free. But we gotta stop pretending that a guy who has a sexual fetish secretly is a woman and identifies as a woman, I'm telling you, he has dramatic mental health issues, and we have to call it what it is. Here's another thing that I want to highlight for you. I'm getting really tired. You know, a lot of you know I have dedicated my life, my professional life, since in my 20s, to coaching young men and young women. And I'm just going to tell you right now, and I still coach young women, I'm going to tell you flat out, I will never, ever coach a team of young women that have a player who was born biologically a male. Never going to happen. I will not do that to my players. I will not make a mockery of the sport. And I will never have my team go up against a team that has somebody on their team who was born biologically male. Now, I know a lot of you out there like, oh boy, that's real discriminatory and prejudice. No, it's not. It's honest. It's honest. And here's how we solve it. And I love the phrase, you know, transgendered rights. What rights do someone who identifies transgendered not have? But back to the point. Here's how you solve that. High school, sports for guys, sports for girls, sports for people who identified as transgendered. And I would do it straight across the board. Straight across the board. And it is not an issue. In some ways, it's sort of like the ADA. It's like an accommodation. We make accommodations for people's stuff all the time. We make accommodations for learning disabilities. We make accommodations in school for people's emotional issues. Many of you who are watching this may have a child who's been on an IEP. We make accommodations all the time. And I would make an accommodation for somebody, even though I know it's the emperor's new clothes, I'd make that accommodation in a heartbeat. I'll wrap with this because I purposely wanted to keep this short. I purposely wanted to keep this honest because I could go on and on and on about it. I will tell you, because some of you are thinking, hey, wait a minute, if truly we are talking about the tiniest amount of people who were actually born into the wrong body, why is it being talked about so much? I ask you this question. When we talk about this as a country, what aren't we talking about? Think about that. When we talk about that, what aren't we talking about? And I will tell you flat out with no conspiracy theory, the people in the power want us talking about people who identify as transgendered. They don't want us to talk about the economy. They don't want us to talk about the border. They don't want to have us talk about the elections. They don't want to talk about the dishonesty in both parties. They don't want you to do it. They do not want you to do it. They don't want you to talk about high interest rates. They don't want you to talk about the price of food. They don't want you to talk about any of that. And that's another reason I almost didn't do this podcast to talk about people who claim to be transgender, because I don't want to be another person that sort of, here it is, let's talk about it. You know why I brought it up today? Because I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's not an issue. I'm telling you flat out. It isn't an issue. We have to get what's under the issue. And what's under the issue is we have people with substantial emotional health and for some substantial mental health issues who are searching for something to hang their emotional baggage on. And you know what we got now? When we're telling 5 and 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds in school, we make it sound like it's an option. We make it sound like people choose their gender. We got to stop doing that. When is the last time a school focused on 4 plus 4 and how to spell the color red? I don't even know if schools do it anymore, but boy, they are sexualizing our children like nobody's business. So I will close it with this. A very powerful wake-up call for you. We do not have a society of confused transgendered children. We do not have a society of confused transgendered adults. We have a society of a lot of confused kids and a lot of confused adults, and we have a society that instead of calling them out for their dysfunction, try to pretend that it's authentic and it's healthy and that we should buy in. As a licensed mental health professional, I'm telling you first and foremost, that will never be me. And when I'm done with this podcast, I'm going to proudly go find a bathroom that says men. Not because I identify as a man, but because I am. This has been your wake-up call. I can't wait to spend some more time with you next week. Stay happy, stay well, and maybe most importantly today, stay sane.